let's start by discussing the quote. So have a read.
Yep.
What's the way you see this quote? Do you agree? Do you disagree? How do you understand it? What is it talking about?
Artists are willing to suffer for their work, but why are so few prepared to learn to draw? I do agree with the code, and I guess I know why.
Yeah. But before you tell me whether you agree or disagree, could you tell me what's the underlying message?
I guess it is saying something like it says artists are willing to suffer for their work, means that they're willing to put in a lot of effort to create a piece of art. But when you ask them to learn to draw, they do not want to do it because I guess artists, they have their own ego. They think they can produce a good work. Yeah. Okay. So the more they suffer, the more they can tell people that, oh, well, it takes a lot of time to create this piece of art.
Yeah.
So when you start to ask them to learn to draw, it's kind of like you are forcing them to face what is not enough in themselves.
So
they do not want to
in the context of art,
so they do not prepare to.
When we say learn to draw, we mean kind of learn the basics. Yeah, learn the theory, learn the strokes and all of that. So you're saying that it's about the fact that an artist is already perfect, they don't need to learn. And they should just use the talent they have and don't need to formally study anything. Is that right?
Correct.
So tell me now whether you agree or disagree.
I do agree with that. Because it could be very difficult for them to face which level are they exactly.
Okay. So you agree that they actually should learn to draw, so learn the basics.
Yeah.
Or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting quote, and a very interesting question. I would say that if you're not learning, developing, then probably you're just not doing, you're not putting in the effort, and you're not doing what you should be doing then, because you don't want to be the same person. You want to become better and better and better and better, whatever your field is, right? Okay, good. So look at all of these beautiful photos. 4 of these photos are famous works of art. 4 of them. We've got 8. Which numbers do you think are the famous works of art, which probably cost crazy money? Not probably, certainly.
I think 7.
7, yeah. Okay.
7 and maybe 8 as well.
Yeah, pretty fancy. Yours?
And the frog.
The frog. I just thought of the frog. Oh my God, we thought of the same thing at the same time. Okay, all the others look pretty. Maybe 6?
Yeah, sure.
A picture of an office, really?
Yeah.
Huh? Seriously? So we'll go for 6.
Yeah, I think 6 is probably quite expensive too. It looks expensive.
Okay. Now, before we find out the truth, I want to show you the definition of installation art. There we go. Just read it yourself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Yes, fine. So that's what we'll be talking about. So now we will be listening to someone who has worked in education at the National Gallery in London. And they'll talk about the 4 works of art. Okay, so looking at these, you will need to say which ones are actually the works of art and match them to the descriptions the speaker will be giving, okay? Let's see if we were right. How confident are you?
50-50.
Yeah, you never know with this art stuff, right? Because it might seem obvious that like number 5 certainly cannot cost $1 million, you know, but it can always happen otherwise. Okay, so let's listen then and write down the numbers, okay? Let's start.
Okay.
4.7.
Can you hear that?
Yep.
Yeah.
4.7.
Yes. Yeah.
So could you tell us a bit about the 4 pieces of art and explain the ideas that they're somehow communicating?
Okay, let's start with a frog. It's called Kobe Frog, and it's by the Dutch artist Florentine Hofmann. And it's an enormous inflatable 10 meters high object. And it was made in 2011 for a particular place, the roof of the Museum of Art in Kobe in Japan. And Kobe was the site of a very severe earthquake in 1995.
Yes.
And the frog is wearing a party hat, and it sits very close to the edge of the roof. The artist says that it's about enjoying life and having a flexible attitude in times of disaster. I'm not sure whether the people of Kobe would agree with that. Next we come to the stones. This is a work called Blaenau Festiniog Circle. Blaenau Festiniog is the name of a town in Wales. And this work is by the artist Richard Long. And it was in an exhibition of his called Heaven and Earth. And what Richard Long does is that he spends months of the year walking through different landscapes. And he creates art out of the things he finds there. His main theme is the relationship between art and landscape. And here he has created a beautiful, harmonious arrangement of different local stones that he's chosen. And what he wants to do is to make people stop and look and realize how beautiful the countryside, and in this case, the stones also can be.
Okay.
Then we come to the cot, and this is a modern sculpture by Mona Hatoum, and it's called Incommunicado. And at first sight, you might think it was a baby's cot. It doesn't look like a modern cot, but it looks as if it might be a hospital cot from, say, 50 years ago. But when you look at it a bit more closely, you notice that there's something strange about the bottom of the cot, where the support for the mattress should be. And in fact, it's a series of very sharp wires. Mona Hatoum is a Palestinian artist who was born in Beirut, but she was exiled from her homeland to London. And I think if we ask ourselves what her idea might be, well, it's a cot, and a cot is normally a protective bed for a baby, where a baby will be safe. But this cot is the opposite of that. So if you got into this cot, instead of being safe, you'd be seriously damaged or seriously injured. I think this cot is a kind of metaphor for the idea of the state, the country that should look after you, your mother country or your fatherland. But in an extreme political situation, instead of being safe or being at home, you feel threatened because of political oppression. And I think probably that's the metaphor that she's making here. Finally, there's pharmacy. This is an installation by Damien Hirst, and it occupies a whole room. if you were in an art gallery and you suddenly walked into this room, you might almost think you'd walked into a real pharmacy by accident. But if you start looking, you'll start seeing things which look strange. For example, there are 3 little stools, that the kind of stools you use to reach up to higher shelves. And on top of each one is a bowl with honey in it. And if you look up, suspended from the ceiling, there is a kind of machine for killing insects. And there are 4 old-fashioned apothecary bottles, which originally were in pharmacies because they were meant to represent the elements of earth, air, fire, and water, but which you wouldn't often see in a pharmacy today. So what could the idea be about here? Well, most of Hirst's works, like the work of many artists of the past, are about life and death. The honey attracts flies to come in or other insects, but they end up zapped in the insectocutor, the killing machine. Drugs, medicines, to us represent healing, so people might come into a pharmacy to get better. But even if you spend thousands of pounds on drugs, in the end, you, like the flies, will die. But we also have the 4 bottles, which are the 4 primary colours, the tools, the materials of the artist. And I think he's also saying that art, like drugs, can cure, can heal, if not the body, then the spirit.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So I went to an exhibition just now, and I just love people who can describe art this way, and you go like, oh, wow, there's such a story behind it. Anyways, back to our business. So, which of the photos are actually famous works of art? Which numbers?
Number 1.
Yes.
3.
Yes.
Darina, number 3.
Oops. Yeah. I love doing that. You're right. The office, the pharmacy. I see 3 and I go like,
the
okay,
frog?
no. The frog? We were right. Look at us. Okay. And?
And number 6.
Yeah. You're right.
6.
Okay. So we were half right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not these.
Exactly.
7 looked very promising. It did. Okay. All right.
Good.
So that's really, really interesting. However, let us talk about some of the language now. Okay. We will be listening again and analyzing the paintings. So if you look at that frog, is it a real frog?
No.
And could this frog get smaller in size if you take the air out?
Possible.
It could, yeah.
Oh.
So when we put air into something, you usually do that when you go to the beach, for example, and you bring in a mattress, for example, which you will be lying on in the water. So what can we say about this frog? What kind of frog is it?
Inflated frog?
Almost. Well done. Okay.
Inflated.
Think about the ending of this word, not inflated.
Inflation. Inflatable.
Perfect. So it's inflatable frog. That's right. Okay. And
inflatable.
Let's see here. How do we say this bit? An inflatable frog. An inflatable frog. What do we say?
Inflatable.
Hey. A, right? So lay. Can you say that? Lay.
Play. Yeah.
Mhm. And here, what do we say here?
Play.
Do we say A as well? Listen, inflatable frog. Ta. Okay.
Ta.
Mhm. Okay, can you repeat please? Frog.
Frog.
An inflatable frog.
An inflatable frog.
And let's try to say this
Inflatable.
together. An inflatable frog.
A,
An
an,
inflatable. Yeah,
an inflatable frog.
perfect. Okay.
Inflatable frog. An inflatable.
So the next one is not new to you, but we'll just discuss the pronunciation.
Okay.
Okay. So, which words here do you think will be connected, just like an inflatable?
Was it?
Yes?
Was in Nan. Was in Nan. And
Okay,
okay.
good.
It was in an exhibition.
Okay, don't worry about
Exhibition.
saying it for now. So, which of these words become weak and we don't really say them as they are?
It's exhibition.
Okay, there will be a
Was in
syllable that we say differently. However, that's the natural pronunciation of that word. But how are we going to say this?
Yep. Of.
Yeah. So
It
of,
becomes
but
of.
of. Remember
Of,
this word, like switch off, for example? This will be off. Yeah, this one will be of.
Yep.
Okay, and
Of.
how will we say this? Will we say was?
One more time.
Will we say it was?
You say
Or we'll
it
say
was.
it quicker?
It wasn't.
So let me say it to you. It was in an exhibition of his. It was in an exhibition of his. Not was.
It was in an
right?
exhibition. Was.
Yeah. So this becomes that, and we say it quicker.
Yeah.
And now listen, I'm going to say it, okay? And tell me, where do I put a pause? So it was in an exhibition of his. Where is it?
Oh, you put the pause is after was.
Yeah.
Was.
So
It
we will
was
not have this.
exhibition.
We'll have a pause here.
Yep.
Okay. And one more sound disappears. So listen, it was in an exhibition of his. It was in an exhibition of his.
In an exhibition of his. The F is missing.
Yeah,
No?
we changed it to a V. Yeah. But how do I say this word?
Yeah.
It was in an exhibition of his. Is. So this disappeared.
He is missing.
Yeah, remember we talked about it, that
disappeared.
very often in British English, the h sounds inside sentences can go. Yeah. Okay. So is the of and is connected? Of and is it connected? The final two words, would they get connected then?
Yes. Yes, correct. Yes, they are connected.
So we would say something like this. Of is. not at
Yeah.
all what it
Avis.
is, right? Okay, can you try to repeat?
Correct.
Exhibition.
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 Very good. Okay. An exhibition.
Uh-huh. An exhibition. An exhibition.
Yeah. Oh, you're getting better with that sound.
An exhibition.
Try to say in
Yeah.
an exhibition.
In an exhibition.
Good.
In an exhibition.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
It was in an exhibition.
It was in an exhibition.
Mhm. Let's say in an exhibition of its.
In an exhibition of his.
You can't
Of his.
really stop there,
In an
because if you
exhibition.
stop, you can't say is
Yeah.
anymore. That will be unnatural. So that needs to be said as one thing. So of his.
Of his.
In an exhibition of his.
In an exhibition of his.
Good. Okay. So let's say the whole thing. It was in an exhibition of his.
It was in an exhibition of his.
Perfect. Very good. You're making good progress. Okay.
Yeah.
So if we look back at this, oh my God, I'm sorry. I keep going to the wrong book. Okay, there we go. So what's this called?
A court.
That's right. And we can have different types of courts, right? Can you try to remember which courts
Yeah.
were mentioned?
Baby court.
Yeah, do we say a baby court, or do we need to make it possessive?
A baby's court.
Yes. So it can be a baby's court, or it can be
I didn't catch the other one. A hospital.
yeah, so a hospital court. So you can have that
Hospital
in
court.
these combinations. Okay, now how would you say the country where you were born?
The country that I was born. Homeland.
Homeland, absolutely. You could say that. More ways.
Yeah.
Something with the word mother. How can you say it
Homeland.
with the word mother?
Your motherland.
You could say motherland. And the lady
Is it
in the
mother?
recording said
Mother.
mother country.
Mother country. I
She
see.
said that, but you can absolutely say motherland. Yeah. And what about saying this with the word father?
Fatherland.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if we use the word land, will that be one word? I mean, not the word, but the second part. If that's the word land, will that be one word or two words?
One word.
Yeah.
One
You
word.
can see that with homeland, and you can see that with motherland, fatherland, and mother country. Okay.
Yeah.
And so is it possible? Is it only about where you were born? Because, okay, let's imagine someone was born in Spain, yeah, but then moved to France, lived there all their life and loves the place, and they say that, okay, France is my motherland. So is it only about where you were born?
Not really. It could. No, wait a minute. Motherland, I think. I don't know. I think motherland have to be some place that you were born and raised up there.
Yeah. But
Really?
the
No?
important
Yeah.
thing is that, yes, you were most likely born there, or you feel that this is your original home. That's also possible.
Ah, okay.
So remember that. It's not
see.
only what's written in your birth certificate where it says country. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, all right. Now let's look back at this. And coming here, this picture, you've got
Pharmacies.
these. What are they called?
Stool.
Yeah. Okay. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you spell it?
STOOL.
O-O or
Right?
double O? Yep. Okay.
Double O. Yeah.
Okay. And once again, this picture, you can see this thing here.
Mm-hmm.
This thing here.
Mm.
What are they for?
Yep. To hold the machine that trap the insects.
Right.
I mean,
Insects.
the lady says
and
it's a
the
insect
insects are flying around, and then there is this thing. And this
to
is
catch the insects.
This is the ceiling, okay? Oh my God, my drawing is just, wow. This is the ceiling, okay? So the thing for the flies is hanging from the ceiling. We can't really say that it's hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
You could, but there is a better way of saying it. So we say that this thing is
holding.
So it is
It's
suspended.
something.
It's suspended from the ceiling. Okay.
I
And
see.
so again, an insect is flying around, and there is this thing. We'll get to what it's called, but this thing is suspended from the ceiling, and then the insect gets stuck there, gets caught. Yeah. What's another way of getting caught somewhere, stuck, and killed?
Trap.
Trapped, yeah, stuck, trapped. So what we heard is they, meaning insects, they end up zapped, right? So this is the word for it. Yeah. You could say that they end up stuck, or it's, but this is the better word. And in the so now what's this thing called, really? Insect catcher, insect what?
It's a word.
Yeah.
Trap.
Trapper?
Insect.
No. There is a very professional word.
Yeah. I just couldn't recall the name.
So I'll give it to you. I'm pretty sure it's
Zapper. The insect zapper. Zip.
Insectocutor.
Oh. Insect. Insectocutor. This
Pretty
is so-
logical, isn't it? You have the
You
word
hear it, you feel.
insect, cuter. Yeah. Okay. So now when you come to an English-speaking country, and if you do have flies around the place you'll be renting, you go to the shop and say, hello, can I please have an insectocutor? Okay. Right. This is what happens when you learn advanced English. Okay.
I see.
So let's try to
Okay.
say it together. Insectocutor.
Okay, here we go.
Insect-
Insectocutor.
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 Okay. And can you think of a word which is very similar to this one from the, well, let's say ELT world? Also with this cuter in the end.
Huh?
So
Oh,
someone you speak to in a
Mm.
Cambridge exam or an IELTS exam or some other exam.
I got it. Interlocutor.
Yeah. Listen to this word.
Yeah.
Interlocutor.
Interlocutor.
Yep.
Yeah. So as you can see here,
Interlocutor.
we've got this little bit. And not even this bit, but with the O. So we can form words with O-C-U-T-O-R. Ocutor.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Interlocutor.
insectocutor. Insectocutor. One more time, repeat. Insectocutor.
Insectocutor.
Zapped in the insectocutor.
And zapped in the insectocutor.
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 Good. They end up zapped in the insectocutor.
They end up zapped in the insectocutor.
I'm sorry about this word. Okay, now let's try to actually have the connection. Yeah, okay. End up.
End up zapped in.
Okay.
End up.
Zapped in.
Zapped in.
They end up zapped in the insectocutor.
They end up zapped in the insectocutor. Zapped in the insectocutor.
And you are absolutely right to say the insectocutor because the word starts with a vowel. Okay, let's stop with the insectocutor. Okay. So I'm pretty sure you're ready to listen one more time. So you will now hear all of those phrases and words we talked about. And let's just focus on the paintings, not paintings, photographs, right? That are actually famous. Okay, so, and that will be number 1, number 3,
3, 4, and 6.
Yeah. So ignore the others.
Yeah.
They are not spoken of. Okay. So in your notebook now, could you just make these 4 columns for yourself? In one, write a pot, a pharmacy. So give them a name. And you'll be listening to the lady. And what I'd like you to do is listen and write down the most important details about these photographs. And also, what's the underlying message of each one?
Okay.
Good. So, ready to listen?
Yep.
prepared your pen? Yeah? Let's listen.
Here we go.
4.7.
So could you tell us a bit about the four pieces of art and explain the ideas that they're somehow communicating?
Okay, let's start with a frog. It's called Kobe Frog, and it's by the Dutch artist Florentine Hoffman. And it's an enormous inflatable 10 meters high object. And it was made in 2011 for a particular place, the roof of the Museum of Art in Kobe in Japan. And Kobe was the site of a very severe earthquake in 1995.
Yes.
And the frog is wearing a party hat, and it sits very close to the edge of the roof. The artist says that it's about enjoying life and having a flexible attitude in times of disaster. I'm not sure whether the people of Kobe would agree with that. Next we come to the stones. This is a work called Blaenau Festiniog Circle. Blaenau Festiniog is the name of a town in Wales. And this work is by the artist Richard Long, and it was in an exhibition of his called Heaven and Earth. And what Richard Long does is that he spends months of the year walking through different landscapes, and he creates art out of the things he finds there. His main theme is the relationship between art and landscape, and here he has created a beautiful, harmonious arrangement of different local stones that he's chosen. And what he wants to do is to make people stop and look and realize how beautiful the countryside, and in this case, the stones also can be. Then we come to the cot, and this is a modern sculpture by Mona Hatoum, and it's called Incommunicado. And at first sight, you might think it was a baby's cot. It doesn't look like a modern cot, but it looks as if it might be a hospital cot from, say, 50 years ago. But when you look at it a bit more closely, you notice that there's something strange about the bottom of the cot, where the support for the mattress should be. And in fact, it's a series of very sharp wires. Mona Hatoum is a Palestinian artist who was born in Beirut, but she was exiled from her homeland to London. And I think if we ask ourselves what her idea might be, well, it's a cot, and a cot is normally a protected bed for a baby, where a baby will be safe. But this cot is the opposite of that. So if you got into this cot, instead of being safe, you'd be seriously damaged or seriously injured. I think this cot is a kind of metaphor for the idea of the state, the country that should look after you, your mother country or your fatherland. But in an extreme political situation, instead of being safe or being at home, you feel threatened because of political oppression. And I think probably that's the metaphor that she's making here. Finally, there's pharmacy. This is an installation by Damien Hirst, and it occupies a whole room. If you were in an art gallery and you suddenly walked into this room, you might almost think you'd walked into a real pharmacy by accident. But if you start looking, you'll start seeing things which look strange. For example, there are 3 little stools, that the kind of stools you use to reach up to higher shelves. And on top of each one is a bowl with honey in it. And if you look up, suspended from the ceiling, there is a kind of machine for killing insects. And there are 4 old-fashioned apothecary bottles, which originally were in pharmacies because they were meant to represent the elements of earth, air, fire, and water, but which you wouldn't often see in a pharmacy today. So what could the idea be about here? Well, most of Hirst's works, like the work of many artists of the past, are about life and death. The honey attracts flies to come in or other insects, but they end up zapped in the insectocutor, the killing machine. Drugs, medicines, to us represent healing, so people might come into a pharmacy to get better. But even if you spend thousands of pounds on drugs, in the end, you, like the flies, will die. But we also have the full bottles, which are the full primary colours, the tools, the materials of the artist. And I think he's also saying that art, like drugs, can cure, can heal, if not the body, then the spirit.
Okay. Right. So let's first talk about the frog. So what are some of the key details that you remember, and what's the real message behind this inflatable frog?
Oh, okay. It's called Kobe frog. It is 10 meters high, and it was placed on the roof of a museum in Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
So they are putting this frog because the reason behind it is like the artists want to convey a message saying that we should enjoy the life, to have a very flexible attitude even you are in a very bad disaster, because at that time Kobe was one of the place that's a very severe of that. I mean, Kobe is the state which has the most severe earthquakes happen.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the artist is trying to say that you should have a flexible attitude to face with all these disasters.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What a story. Wow. Could you ever think this if you saw this inflatable frog? Could you kind of try and work out?
No.
Do you think it's a
It
special
looks like
skill,
some sorry, one more time.
Do you think it's a special skill that some people have, that they look at this work of art and they go, oh, so it means that, and probably the artist wanted to say that and that.
I think so. You might be the psychic that you can read the artist's mind when you look at the frog.
I would love to have that skill. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, good. Thank you. So let's talk about the stones, the sixth image. So what are some of the details and what's the message?
The stones. What did I write? Okay, he wants to present the relationship between the arts and the landscape. And he wants people to realize that the beauty of the countryside.
Okay.
So
all
he
right.
put it in that way. Yeah.
Okay. And then let's talk about the cot. What are some of the details and what's the story behind it?
Oh, well, it looks like a baby cot or even a hospital cot, but actually it is not. There is some sharp wires at the bottom of the cot where it's supposed to put mattress. There's not for the mattress, but full of sharp wires.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to explain the meaning of the chords, you have to look into the artist's background, where she is a Palestinian artist that excelled to. I think excel means she was forced to leave the country, and now she's in London.
Mm-hmm.
She used these chords to represent her status, because the chord's supposed to be something that save to protect somebody, but unfortunately there are some small wires where it could actually cause a big damage to you. So it seems to her situation, a country, she used the chords to represent the country, her country, and due to the some of the political issue which is not unstable politics in her country, that caused her in danger, which threatened her, her life to survive over there.
Absolutely. So it's a metaphor, really, that your motherland
yeah.
should actually be protecting you and the safe place for you on earth. Yeah, same like a baby's cot to a baby. Yeah, but in reality,
Correct.
not. Yeah. Okay, let's not get into this because that will be really sad. Let's talk about the pharmacy then. It's also pretty sad, the pharmacy story, right? So what are the details? All of these. You see, I just love how they see the little details, like those stools and the other little details, those bottles. Wow, and there is everything means something. Yeah. So tell me the
I know.
details and the message behind it.
Okay. Basically, it tries to. I think not tries to lah. It actually recreates the pharmacy as what we see in the picture. You have stool. You have these 4 bottles with all primary colors, which represents water, fire. What else? The woods and I can't remember another one. Stone or
fine.
something.
Yeah, that's
Which-
all right.
Yeah, those are those elements that the old that we can see in the olden pharmacies.
Yeah.
So the whole idea of this pharmacy is talking about life and death.
Mhm.
Okay, so it used on the stool they plate with that face the reality whereby you will still die in one day. Yeah, this is how it works. So, and it mentioned that
And I'll stop you for a second.
drug can heal
Your
body
internet
and the spirit.
froze, so I couldn't hear the beginning, just the ending. So could you tell me one more time about this,
Okay.
the underlying message?
Oh,
You said
okay.
it's about, what is it about? So just go on one more time, okay?
It is about Hi, I'm back.
Okay. It's like exactly when I ask you to start talking, your voice starts breaking. You can hear me okay now? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't want to ask you to repeat it for the 10th time. Could you just take a picture of your notes to do with the pharmacy and send me the picture?
Oh, sure.
So we'll check that way. Okay, got it.
Okay, here we go.
Give me 1 second. I'll have a read. Okay. Oh, you wrote the new word. Our favorite word today.
Yeah.
Insectocuta. Okay. Yes, life and death. That's right. Drugs can heal the body, but not the spirit. Yeah. And that in the end, you would anyways die. Okay, that's it. We got it. Finally. Thank God. All right. So now we will listen to the next part of this lady talking. Okay. And she will be talking about understanding modern sculpture and installations. You have to say whether she thinks, compared to normal painting or sculpture, these types of art are A, easier, B, more difficult, or C, about as easy to understand. So do you need to choose one of these?
Oh, not sure. I have to listen to her. Maybe
You need to select one. Only one will be
I have
okay?
to choose one of it.
Yes.
Yeah, only
And
one. Yeah.
what
Yeah.
is she going to be talking about now?
She's going to compare normal painting or sculpture with
Yeah.
those
So,
arts that she mentioned earlier, like the frogs, the coat, and yeah, the arrangement of the stone.
you're right. Yeah. Understanding modern sculpture and installation. And you're again right that she'll be comparing them to normal paintings. Yeah. Let's listen.
Yeah.
4.8.
And this is all very fascinating, but my problem is that I don't think I could ever have got there by myself. I needed you, an expert, to explain these works of art to me. Whereas if I went to a gallery to see normal paintings or sculptures, I could probably enjoy them without needing to have them explained to me. What do you think?
Well, I disagree there. I don't think you do need an expert to explain them to you, actually.
Okay.
In any case, with modern sculpture and installations, there's normally some interpretation on the walls, so you can read about it if you want to.
Right.
But I think if you're going to go to a gallery to see modern sculpture and installations, and perhaps a lot of modern art in general, the best way is to go with someone else or with a group of people and to talk about the work, to ask each other questions about the things you see. And very often you find that by asking questions and coming up with the answers, you can get much more out of it. You know, even though it may not look like the kind of art that you're used to, you have to believe that the person who made it is an artist or was an artist, and that they have things to say, and it's your job to find out what they might be.
Don't you think then that they're making you work much harder to enjoy their works than artists did in the past?
Actually, no, I don't, because plenty of other works are just as elusive. You know, abstract art or sculpture, many old master paintings where you don't actually understand the symbolism. There's always more to understand.
Okay, so then in that case, do you think artists today want to make you think? They don't just want to create something of beauty?
I think they always have done. They have ideas and feelings, and they want to give form to them. And actually, I think many people would find Richard Long's stones beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And other people might think that Mona Hatoum's cot is beautiful. Maybe not exactly a beautiful object, but a beautiful and rich idea.
Okay.
Beauty can be a beautiful landscape or a portrait of a beautiful person. But I think it can also be a beautiful idea.
Thank you so much, Gillian, for coming in and talking to us today. I'm sure our audience will be entering the gallery.
Okay. Right. So, Silja, which answer have you selected?
Oh, I will say C.
Yes, that's right. So it is.
Yeah, I'll say C.
So what was her main point? Why is it C?
Well, she said if you want to, I mean, definitely when you go for this exhibition, they will always have the description next to the sculptures or the painting and the art.
Okay.
So there's no difference between modern art sculptures or the normal painting or sculpture. It's the same. Wherever you go, if there's a piece of art, they will definitely give you an explanation.
Good. So let's just talk about two things.
Yep. Works.
So we need an adjective in the gap, and that adjective would mean that this work of art is difficult to describe, difficult to understand. What can the word be? What can the adjective be?
Abstract.
Okay, the style, yeah. Well,
No.
so elusive
Elusive.
works of art.
Elusive.
So these are the ones that, you know, I guess probably to us, all of these here were elusive. Would you say so?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Can you repeat, please? Elusive.
Elusive.
Elusive works of art.
Elusive works of art.
Good. Okay. And you can say, so every artist wants to create something beautiful. Yeah. What's another way of using the word beautiful or any other part of speech of this word together with a preposition? Create something of?
Create something of. Use the word beautiful.
Yeah, but different part of speech.
Oh, no, I cannot get it. So create beautiful.
Create something of, and then, yeah.
And then
it will be one thing instead of beautiful. Create something of.
oh, I'm sorry, I cannot recall it.
That's fine. Create something
Beauty.
of beauty. Yeah. So
Beauty.
these two would be similar, and just another way of saying it. So create something of beauty. Okay, right.
Okay.
So we are going to get back to this now. You are going to listen one more time.
Okay.
And you have to answer these 4 questions in exercise E. Can you first have a read of these questions, please?
Yep.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Do you think you already have answers to some of these questions after having listened once?
Confirm the answers.
Do you remember anything?
A little.
Okay, so which ones are you pretty confident about?
Number 2.
Okay, so what's the answer then?
I should discuss a group, go to the exhibition in a group and discuss with my friends, discuss with my friends about the art, and we should ask each other some questions. What do we think about the art?
Okay, good. Do you remember anything else? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just trusting your memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Uh-huh. So number 3, the job as a viewer. Our job as a viewer is to discover what the artist trying to, the message from the art. I mean, what is the message that the artist want to display or show us?
All right. And any other ones you remember? One?
Brain and gallery might find information about installation of modern sculpture. Number 1.
Yeah, what is it?
So where is it? It's actually next to these sculptures or the art piece. They will always have small descriptions about the art, the information about the art.
Somewhere next to the sculpture. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember number 4, maybe, or any ideas?
No.
Okay, good,
No.
fine. No worries.
Yeah,
So let's listen. Check whether you were right for the ones you think you remember, and make sure the answer is precise. So there is one answer you gave me which is not specific enough. Okay?
Yep.
Good. Let's listen.
4.8.
And this is all very fascinating, but my problem is that I don't think I could ever have got there by myself. I needed you, an expert, to explain these works of art to me. Whereas if I went to a gallery to see normal paintings or sculptures, I could probably enjoy them without needing to have them explained to me. What do you think?
Well, I disagree there. I don't think you do need an expert to explain them to you, actually.
Okay.
In any case, with modern sculpture and installations, there's normally some interpretation on the walls, so you can read about it if you want to.
Right.
But I think if you're going to go to a gallery to see modern sculpture and installations, and perhaps a lot of modern art in general, the best way is to go with someone else or with a group of people and to talk about the work, to ask each other questions about the things you see. And very often you find that by asking questions and coming up with the answers, you can get much more out of it. You know, even though it may not look like the kind of art that you're used to, you have to believe that the person who made it is an artist or was an artist, and that they have things to say, and it's your job to find out what they might be.
Don't you think then that they're making you work much harder to enjoy their works than artists did in the past?
Actually, no, I don't, because plenty of other works are just as elusive. You know, abstract art or sculpture, many old master paintings where you don't actually understand the symbolism. There's always more to understand.
Okay, so then in that case, do you think artists today want to make you think? They don't just want to create something of beauty?
I think they always have done. They have ideas and feelings and they want to give form to them. And actually, I think many people would find Richard Long's stones beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And other people might think that Mona Hatoum's cot is beautiful. Maybe not exactly a beautiful object, but a beautiful and rich idea.
Okay.
Beauty can be a beautiful landscape or a portrait of a beautiful person. But I think it can also be a beautiful idea.
Thank you so much, Gillian, for coming in and talking to us today. I'm sure our audience will be...
Okay. Where in a gallery might you find information about installations or modern sculptures?
On the wall. She mentioned on the wall.
On the walls. Right. So it is next to the sculpture, but that was just not precise enough. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And were you right about the second one?
Yes.
Absolutely. Well done.
Yes.
Okay.
Talk about
And number 3, were you right?
Partially, I think. It's just not very precise. It says that we have to find out what the artist want to say through the art piece.
Yeah, but you were right. It's just that we wrote it down with this. That's fine. Okay. And what about the last one then, which you couldn't remember? So how does she think people might find Mona Hatoum's cot beautiful?
I said people might not find the cot beautiful, but they might find the idea of the art is beautiful.
Right. Okay, so Xinyan, would you like to go and see these modern sculptures and installations in person, not virtually through the screen? Would that interest you?
Possible? I think I would like to go.
Okay, all right. And if you went, who would you go with?
Well, I guess I will bring my sister
Okay.
to go with.
So is she someone you could discuss all of these sculptures and installations with?
Yeah. I find more comfortable to discuss these things with her.
Oh, lovely. Okay. What we are going to do now, we're going to practice being a good viewer of art. So we're going to look at some of the most famous paintings of all time. Okay? So we're going to an art gallery with you. Look at the first one, which is the most famous painting in the world.
Mona Lisa.
Good. And do you know when it was created?
No. It's very, very old.
Oh, yes. Okay, so it was created somewhere in the 1500s, approximately 1503, 1519, in this period. So, Xinyan, tell me, what do you think about this painting? What can it represent? What's the message? What did Leonardo da Vinci want to tell us?
I don't know. The lady looks, though she's smiling, but she looks like a bit, like some sadness behind the picture.
Okay. So is
Yeah.
it because of the
So
colors?
no, because of the eye that she look at you.
Okay. I think they say
Yeah.
that when you're actually looking at this painting, wherever you stand, she's always looking at you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the eyeball is moving.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It is. So what's the message of this painting of Mona Lisa?
The beauty of women.
Oh, okay.
The beauty of women. Well, I think 15,000 women is people are not respect.
So
People were not respecting.
was there just one woman?
Sorry?
Was there just one woman in the
Women.
1500s? Yeah. Okay. So the beauty of women.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Women. Yeah.
And-
I mean 15,000. Sorry?
Yeah. Go on with your idea.
I guess in 15,000, women's status might not be pretty good. People might see them as somebody who have to help out with all the household at home.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So through the pictures, maybe Da Vinci want to use the pictures to emphasize how important women were at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to find out the truth?
Oh, why not?
Okay. I'll give you the information. Have a read. See if you were right.
Who is the wife of Florentine Transfers? Oh, okay.
Okay. So, is it similar to what you thought?
No, I think no, nothing similar.
Okay. So, of course, we don't really know the truth. There are a few theories. Yeah. Which theory do you think is more realistic? Which one do you believe in?
I think it's drawing of memories. It's Leonardo's mother, right?
Yeah,
And then
I
conjure
thought
for
so
Leonardo's
too. We don't
Yeah,
know, but
I think that.
that's the feeling I got as well.
Not sure.
Could be his
I
mom.
know.
Could be the wife of, some merchant. Yeah.
Not sure. I think moms. It looks like father.
Pretty much. Okay. Right. I have one more. This is the second most famous painting of all time. Do you happen to know
Nine.
what this is?
No, this is the first time I see the picture.
Okay, so this painting is called Girl with a Pearl Earring. Okay, and it was created in 1665.
Oh wow, that's long ago.
Yeah, pretty much. So let's discuss what it can represent. What's the message?
I think the artist fall in love with this girl.
Oh, really? You think it's just a romantic story, yeah?
Don't you think so? The way she look at him is like so beautiful. Maybe he just cannot forget this look when she turns back and say hello. I mean, or just a glance.
Okay, so he pictured it to remember it forever, yeah?
Possible.
Okay. Well, have a read what experts think.
Okay. Oh, the sister is unknown. Speculation must be. Oh, okay. Ah, I'm partially correct, you see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they say that she probably was his maid.
Mm.
Does she
Mm.
really look like a maid to you of that time?
It's very hard to decide.
Because my thinking is,
But I
how could a maid have pearl earrings? That's luxury, isn't it?
maybe she came from a very rich family, but unfortunately something happened to the family and she get poor. So the earring is something that, the family left to her.
Ah, okay, so it's a family thing then.
Um,
I'm thinking that if she suddenly went bankrupt, then probably she would have sold those earrings. Yeah. Yeah, okay,
yeah.
fine. And okay, this a beautiful.
Ah, I went to his exhibition recently
Ah, so you should know
in
that.
Malaysia.
You probably read the description on the wall, did you?
uh, the exhibition is pretty different. They use a lot of AI and lights and so on to recreate
So it was
pictures.
modernized, yeah.
So yeah, it says this is Starry Nights,
Mm-hmm. Right.
but he didn't say why he draw these, but yeah, it just be one of his favorite topics to draw. He likes to draw things that he can
Right.
see.
So you're right.
Yeah.
This painting is called The Starry Night, and it was
Mhm.
painted in 1889 by Vincent van Gogh.
Yeah.
So, okay, so if you didn't see the description or if it wasn't provided, then what would you say all of this means? Okay, he just liked the view, fine, but the way he depicted it is not very typical, is it?
Yeah, it's pretty complicated.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe he tried to
No one can read the faces.
use the colors to show how complicated his his heart is. I mean, I don't know. His psychological state is pretty complicated.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you think he had some psychological problems or psychiatric problems?
Most likely, he tried to
Ah,
colors to to cover these problems, or he tried to suppress it.
okay. All
Yeah.
right. Well, here's the truth.
Yeah.
What do you think? Does it sound realistic?
Turbulence state of the mind. Yeah, possible. I mean, there's one sentence says that apply brush marks springing from the yin and yang of his personal demons and all form of nature.
Yes.
It's like at one side he loved nature a lot, which is true.
Okay.
And the other side of the demon, I mean, I believe everybody has this little demon in deep down of your heart.
Mm-hmm. So before we finish, let's take a look at
Mm.
some language that you've used today. So, number one, is it correct or does it need to be improved?
The artist wants to convey the message.
Yes. Okay. So I think, again, we've talked about this. You might think that you're saying the S, but you are not. So pay special attention to that S ending and make sure that you say it more clearly. Okay. So let's try to say it. Wants to.
Wants to.
The artist wants to convey the message.
The artist wants to convey the message.
Good. Okay. Right. Now let's see the next word. Where is the stress? On which syllable?
The second syllable, zim, museum.
Yeah. So we say Z, you're right. So can you repeat, please? Museum.
Museum.
Yeah. All right. Look at number 3.
Oh, okay. The mistakes. There are some sharp wires at the bottom of the cord.
Right. So our verb to be needs to agree
Yeah.
with this.
With
Right? Okay.
Yeah,
Let's see the next word and how we say it. So we say basically.
basically.
What changes?
Basically.
We don't say basically, right? We say basically. So what disappears? So this bit is said as
Bay.
right? This is
Bay.
fine, but all of this thing is said as this.
Clean. 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 Okay.
The stress is
Basically.
So let's try to say it together. Basically.
Basically.
And what do you think of number 5? Is it all right or not?
No feelings. He tried to suppress his feeling.
No, feelings. He has more than one feeling. Yeah. Actually, this is good. This is very good. And we've just recently learned this, right?
Yep.
That's really nice. Well done. You're using your new words. Okay. And let's see. In this word here, what is it that we're not going to say? Which letter?
Oh, no. The R.
Okay, so this is not going to be said in British English, yeah? So, and in order not to say it, our previous vowel needs to become longer, right? So, and the sound is your favorite here, as you guessed. So, and remember, I'll just quickly switch on my camera. So your mouth needs to go that way, right? So we say pearl.
Yeah. Pearl.
Okay, let's say
Pearl
earrings.
Pearl earrings.
So if we want to say it in plural, we say pearl earrings.
Okay. Pearl earrings.
Okay, but the girl was with one earring. So
a pearl earring.
A pearl earring. Okay, and the last one. Let's say it better.
Her eyes are staring at you. Her eyes are staring at you.
And you should add something here. Can you say something like, it seems like?
It seems like her eyes are staring at you.
Yeah, you could say that. Or could you use any other phrase here to show a little bit of uncertainty?
It looks like.
Okay, so
eyes
that's
are staring at you.
Because you're not sure, you don't know, you're just you know, you're creating on
it
the
looks-
spot. So it's nice to add a bit of uncertainty. Okay, very good.
Yep.
Fine. Okay, so I guess that's it for today. I'll see you next week. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.